What's up, everybody? I'm here with John from Sevendust. What's up, people? Just wanted to ask you a couple questions about what's been going on lately. Where was the last two shows you guys had, and how was the crowd's reaction to seeing you guys?
The crowd was awesome. First night was in Atlantic City. We played up at the Showboat right there on the boardwalk. Last night was Covington, Kentucky, which is kind of Cincinnati. It's like right across the river. So it's even though we got a lot of Kentucky folks that come, a lot of our Cincinnati fan base comes out there. It's good. We haven't actually played Cincinnati in a minute, so it's kind of cool to be able to get back there. But you know, we're just kind of getting going after 6 months off. You know, you get one show in 6 months. It's like, oh, I don't remember how to do this. You know, but it was all good. I mean, it's I'm not as sore today as I was yesterday. So if that's any indication, we should have a pretty good show tonight, I hope.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome. How does it feel to be back on stage with Sevendust? And you just said, I said, how long were you not performing live for? What you said, 6 months?
6 months. Yeah, it's been, well, I think we did one show in South Carolina back in April, but that really doesn't count. You know what I mean? It's like a one-off. I can handle the one-off, but
kind of
kind of not doing it day in, day out. Yeah, it's been since New Year's the last show.
I mean, did it feel good to be back on stage again?
It felt great. It really did. You know, because you get that time off, and everyone kind of splits and does their own little thing. You know, side projects. You know, whatever you're kind of getting into. But it was cool to actually hop back up there and just, you know, halfway through rehearsal, we're just all kind of smiling like, okay, it's gonna be all right. This is all good.
Will there be any new material played at the shows coming up, or are you gonna stick with the songs from the previous albums?
It's going to be all previous stuff only because that question's actually come up a lot in the past week and a half.
I got you.
We're actually going to write the whole record in the studio. We decided instead of, you know, piling a whole bunch of demos, I mean, Clint's going to have stuff to bring in and I'm going to have stuff to bring in like we usually do, but instead of writing, you know, 30 songs a piece and having 50 or 60 pieces of music to have to kind of carve through, we said, you know what, let's keep that on the back burner, but we just want to get in there and jam, like literally set the gear up, start jamming together in the same room, and then just hit record and kind of see what we get. So I think we're going to do that, you know, as far as we can, and then, you know, if we have to rely on demos and stuff like that, that's been written ahead of time, you know, we'll do that further on down. But it's, you know, we've never gone into the studio and actually written in the studio. Anytime we've been in, you know, in a group situation, it's been like, you know, in some rehearsal space or somebody's jam room that you're borrowing for a few weeks. You're never actually in the studio where you're like, okay, well, let's track it. You know, instead of, let me jot that down real quick, let's do it real quick, you know, recording, we just go, okay, cool, let's cut the drums, like for real. So it'd be kind of cool to do it that way. You know, we've never done it that way. I mean, we could be in there for 3 weeks and, you know, have 20 songs that are amazing. We could be in there for 3 months and have 5 that kind of okay. So we'll see how it goes. But most of the good songs off the last record were things that we all jammed with the band. Like Splinter was something that just came out of thin air when everyone thought that the record was finished. I mean, we had the record finished. We were just in there horsing around, and next thing I know, Splinter was there. I was like, maybe we should do this a couple more times, see what else comes out.
Awesome CD. I know you guys have collaborated with various artists like Miles Kennedy, Mark Tremonti, and Chris Daughtry, but if you guys are recording some new music in the future, who's like a newer person you'd like to maybe get on a track with you?
No, man, I mean,
like, how is it like different from getting somebody back then? Like,
right. I got this weird love affair with 30 Seconds to Mars, so it'd be really, really weird for me to not say that it would be really cool.
I know that guy's awesome. He does so much like movies and everything.
Yeah, but his voice is just wow. He can sing his ass off. You know, I'm a huge Foo Fighters fan, so it'd always be cool to have Dave Grohl like come in and play drums on the track. You know what I mean? Not necessarily do the typical, okay, well he's gonna sing and he's gonna play guitar, but you know, get him behind the kid. But yeah, Jared Leto for me would be really, really cool to collaborate with. I've always been a really big fan of the movies, and we actually had a chance to tour with those guys about, probably going back about 3 years on their first record. So we were such huge fans of the band, and he can sing, man, he can sing. He is such an unbelievable voice. He pulls it off live like nobody's business. And, you know, he just picks all my favorite notes.
Music or bands have you heard of from just this year that you have found yourself listening to in your free time or on the road? Just just from 2012?
Just from 2012, recent stuff. It's funny, when I make a record, I kind of put the blinders on and I really only listen to 2 or 3 things that I'm, you know, either trying to kind of get in the mind frame of, or, you know, kind of in that mentality, or, I mean, it could be something that's completely unrelated to just something that keeps me in that creative space. So I haven't really listened to a ton of really new stuff. New-ish. The new Foo Fighters record, I mean, that's in constant rotation for sure. I really like the new Aranda a lot. I think those guys are a smoking band. I think the record came out last year, but I just picked it up a few months ago. But as far as this year goes, I have to say Empire is a hugely influential record. They're great guys, great friends of ours. And the Call Me No One stuff.
Is it Clint's brother?
Yep, boys in the band. And the Call Me No One stuff I think is awesome too. So
that's crazy. I'm not to ask about that.
Yeah.
My friend William, he's gonna open for Call Me No One in Joliet and Mojo's, and he wanted to have me ask you, well, when you're angry over a situation, how do you take out your aggression?
How do I take out my aggression?
Yeah.
Usually hit the gym.
Hit the gym?
Yeah, I hit the gym instead of hitting people. It works out better that way.
All right, tell us about your side project. Who's in it, and what do they do in the band?
We got Scott Phillips from Alter Bridge Creed playing drums. Eric E-Rock Friedman. We've called him E-Rock since he was like, I don't know, 16, 17 years old.
Nice.
He plays guitar and sings backup. And then Vinny Hornsby from Sevendust, he's actually in the band with me, and I sing and play guitar as well.
I heard what's one of the tracks you posted up?
Either Watch It Burn or Hello, one of those.
Watch It Burn. Oh, this.
Very cool.
Is there any traditions that you guys stick to when you're on tour? Like, if you go out to like certain places that you gotta stop at, like, you know, like bars, anything like that?
When we're on the West Coast, if you see an In-N-Out burger, stop. Even if we've just ate lunch, dinner, you know, if we had a full meal, it doesn't matter. In-N-Out burgers, gotta stop. We don't have In-N-Out burgers on the East Coast. Closest thing we got is like a Steak and Shake. It's not really the same thing. So In-N-Out burgers for sure. Other than that, you know, we never try to do more than 5 or 6 days in a row right out of the gate, kind of like we're doing right now. It's like the one thing you ask for, let's not do this. Okay, cool. I look at the schedule like, great, 6 in a row. We always try to kind of ease back into it, you know. So after that 6th show, we'll see how the voices are going. It's just more of a mental game than anything. It's like, I think if we weren't playing, you know, an hour and 70, hour and a half, you know, we could probably do it if we were more like on a show like tonight when we only have an hour, they're only giving us an hour. If we were doing an hour 5, 6 nights a week, it wouldn't be so bad. But it's at 30 minutes now. And it's not that we don't love doing it, we love doing it. It's just after you do it 6 nights in a row, you're like, okay, vocal cords are kind of crispy, you know. But it's all good, man. It's good to be back out for sure.
Came up with the idea to let the fans do the artwork for the projected album Human, and what is the meaning behind the name and the band and the album name?
I will claim the idea only because I was there to field it, but honestly, it was Jared Ward's piece of art. He did the one that's actually going to end up being on the disc itself, the skull. You know, we were trying to get a completely different pre-sale up. We were having some PayPal issues, site issues, and we realized it wasn't going to work. And it was right about that time I was looking at the page, I was typing the email, apologizing for all the confusion and everything. I was looking at Jared's artwork, and I was like, huh. And the next post I said, you know, maybe I should let you guys do the artwork and just have a contest. And within about 3 or 4 minutes, it had 60 likes. It just went through the roof. So I got on the phone with my mother, my attorney, and I said, I know this is going to be a little bit of a logistical nightmare on the other end, but this could be, you know, kind of cool. I was expecting, you know, 25, 30 submissions. We ended up getting 102 submissions, 90 that were actually different pieces of stuff, and then out of those 90, there were quite a few artists that had given us multi-colors. Like one guy gave us 4 different colors for one design, and I told him, I was like, you probably don't want to split your colors in there, because if you get these votes and these votes and these votes, we're not going to do a total, you know. But it was, I don't know, man, I mean, it was something that I know a lot of other people have done. There were a couple Kickstarter programs that I'd seen online where someone had done an art book, and at the end of the day, there was such cool artwork that came in, and I was like, wow, this is, I mean, it was such a cool thing to take part in, and I was just blown away. I really was. I mean, there were obvious ones that were a little too hardcore, maybe not quite connected enough, but it was weird as a band are going through these things. It was like there were different ones that kind of related to, you know, different songs and different themes. You know, a lot of people thought all we were going to do was pick all the hellfire and brimstone, really scary stuff. And I was like, no, it's got to have more of a connection. It can't just be, you know, a scary skull on something, even though some of the scary skulls were cool. But I don't know, man. I mean, it was just one of those things that just kind of happened. It clicked, and within about 30 minutes, we were like, okay, let's try this and see what happens. And I think we ended up with 19 that are actually going to be going in the book.
My friend Derek, he got in there.
Yeah, that's right, Derek Stone. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Very cool.
I told him, I was like, hey man, you know, you should try out for this, and he's like, you know, I don't know, I'm not that good. And I was like, try it,
dude.
Man.
You'd be shocked. The dude who did the smiley with the you know, it looked like literally they took a damn pen and went, you know, projected human and put a smiley face underneath it. That's already got a sticker. It's under the CD, so the skull will actually, when you pick up the skull, you'll have the smiley sitting up underneath it. Because we were like, it was like one of the favorites. I mean, it was one of the most talked about ones, but I mean, that took somebody seriously 5 minutes to open a program and go in there and do. You know, it's not about the amount of time that it took an artist to do it, but it was about what the end result was at the end of the day. Because I saw some tremendous, you know, artwork that was super detailed that at the end of the day we kind of didn't get why it related to human or what the connection was. So, you know, it was a shame to have to look at some tremendous artwork and go, you know what, it just doesn't really fit. But as soon as we go to the next one, you see the smiley or you see the little sketch band, you know, me jumping in the air, Vinny with his hat on, everyone playing. It's like, okay, that looks like the band, so it deserves to go, you know.
All right,
it was a lot of fun, man.
How long does this tour last, and what's the plan for when it's over?
It goes to the 23rd of this month. Actually, 22nd. I fly home on the 23rd. 22nd is in Iowa somewhere. So it's a short run. I think we're only doing 10 total days on the whole thing. Plan for me, go right back home, get on the CD, print t-shirts and all that stuff so that we can get the online store up for projected.
Are they actually going on tour? Are you guys going to do anything?
We are. We kind of have to wait for the Sevendust schedule to see how it all pans out. I mean, theoretically, I'd like to be able to pick a window at the end of October, beginning of November, and get out there. But I also have to sidestep Creed. So I got Creed over here, and I got Sevendust over here, and then I got Ultra Bridge kind of sneaking up here going. So
that's probably an awesome feeling.
It is, man.
Everybody is great musicians.
Thank you, man. It surprised us, I think, as much as it surprised everyone else. Because, you know, we were just going to have a good time with it, taking in there. It is what it is. We didn't spend a lot of money doing it. We just had fun. And we got the mastered version back, and all of a sudden the phone kind of starts going off. And everyone's like, man, this is really cool, man. We should do something with this. Release a single. I was like, all right, well. But, yeah, I mean, I'll pretty much dive into projected mode for another week or so. Get the online store going, and then, you know, end of the first week in August, I'm in pedal to the metal full-on Sevendust mode. We start recording September 5th, so I want to kind of get back in that mindset, you know. Because projected was like, even though it's still a heavy tip, it's not. You know, a couple of our crew guys were like, man, it's got to be metal as hell. It's got to be like super omega over the top heavy, and I was like, no, it's not that at all. Like, really? You're the heavy guy. I was like, that's what everyone's thinking. They're going to get a Slayer record, or it's not a Slayer record.
What do you like to say to everybody that's going to come out to the shows on this tour?
Man, thanks for the support. I know it's been a while. We've been, you know, we've been working on Sevendust stuff. We've been working on side project stuff. At the end of the day, it's all stuff that, you know, is going to make this record really, really strong. So, thanks, man.
Thank you,
brother.
Oh yeah, have a good show.
Absolutely, man. Thank you very much.